The meaning of the movie author Orpheus for reading 5 minutes published 7.12. 2021 updated 7.12. 2021 The movie, The Last Duel, was first shown to the audience at the Venice Film Festival. It was released in theaters in the fall of 2021. Viewers were indifferent to the picture, but from critics it received quite high marks. The director of this historical drama was Ridley Scott. The meaning of the movie. The viewer is transported to the year 1396. The plot of the movie begins to twist from the moment when Marguerite de Carouge publicly declares that she was a victim of rape committed by Jacques Legris. Marguerite's husband, a knight named Jean de Carouge, as a true protector of his family, challenges the offender to a duel. This, by the way, is the last legal duel in the history of France. And then the most interesting move begins. The director divided the narrative into 3 parts. The first belongs to Jean de Carouge, the second to Jacques Legris, and the third to Marguerite. Part 1. Narrative on behalf of Jean de Carouge. Jean de Carouge is a nobleman, but has no title. His father is a garrison captain and owner of a small estate. Jean and Legris are bound together by their service in the same place. Both of them gradually swear allegiance to the Count of Alençon, who helps them move up the ranks. He marries Marguerite de Carouge only to improve his financial affairs. However, it turns out that part of the betrayed, a piece of land, was a gift through third hands Legris. Jean sues, but the king dismisses the suit. His wife helps him reconcile with his enemy, if only temporarily. While Jean was on a military campaign in Scotland, Legris breaks into his house and rapes Margaret. On his return, her husband appeals to the king, who decides that only God's judgment will help. Part 2. Narrative on behalf of Jacques Legris. In this part de Carouge is presented as a fiery but brave man. Jacques, on the other hand, is presented as a very educated man for the time, but with no support. And Pierre of Alençon is exactly what becomes the man's patron. For him, the claim for a plot of land is surprising, because he originally climbed for the Count, and the latter decided to give Legris such a gift. Another injustice is Marguerite de Carouge. When Jacques meets the wife of his now enemy, he is not ready to accept that such an intelligent and beautiful woman did not get to him. He falls in love, but the woman is not ready to accept it. Finally, he manages to confess his feelings to her properly and Marguerite accepts his feelings with great fear. But Legris is not ready to back down and only closes his eyes to all the refusals and cries. He leaves her in full confidence that there was no violence, he only helped the woman overcome her modesty. At the royal court Legris denies everything and agrees to the duel. Part 3. Narrative on behalf of Marguerite. The girl's life is not going well. She is forced to marry only for money. Her husband and father constantly quarrel, and Jean does not understand and does not accept the feelings and desires of his wife at all. The girl has to come to terms with what is happening and live with her husband's mother, who constantly and in everything reproaches Marguerite. But the girl is wise enough to guide her husband. She also understands Legris' feelings, but allows herself only a light flirtation with him. In her husband's absence, the girl quarrels with his mother, and the latter leaves Marguerite alone, taking away all the servants. The girl locks herself in, but Legris still manages to sneak into the estate. The girl is afraid to answer all his confessions, because she does not want to lose her friendship with a rather influential man. But all her efforts are in vain. As soon as her husband returns, Marguerite plucks up the courage to tell him everything. But de Carouge does not sympathize with her, but fears for his reputation. In addition, as if competing with an enemy, her husband also takes the girl by force. De Carouge files a complaint against Legris. But from Marguerite everyone turns away, considering her a liar. Her husband's mother confesses to the girl that she herself was in exactly the same situation, but managed to keep silent for the sake of family honor. At the trial they try to accuse her of having been raped only because of her own provocation. Marguerite learns at this time that she is pregnant. Shortly before the scheduled duel, Marguerite gives birth to a son, but leaves him to attend, for if her husband loses, she will be burned at the stake for lying. Allegedly God has judged them, and he cannot lie. The duel, both opponents are furious and determined to win. But Decarouge is victorious. He is declared the winner of the dispute, and Marguerite is set free. In general, there is no need to talk about any hidden meaning, the authors have already told us everything. Through the prism of the opinions of each of the characters, we choose which side to take. The movie is quite psychological and proves to us that there is no pure good or evil in the world, everything is relative.